All right, welcome back to the Softest Fantasy Football Show. We're back with Corbin and Calvin. I'm Calvin Corbin. Um,
Welcome to the potty.
yeah. So I want to start off with this video that I found, and I want to get your thoughts on it because I'm thinking it'd be a hilarious last place has to be in a room with like a bad smell thing.
Uh-huh.
But I don't. You actually have a CPAP, so I want to have your thoughts on how bad this would be. So I'm gonna play it.
Yep.
Are you ready?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Uh well, okay, so first off, my initial reaction is that's how I feel when I was making this list of RBs is like someone just farted in my breathing machine. But I don't think that's how they work. I don't know actually. So that is similar to what I have, and I don't typically smell anything. So
Has
like
anyone farted
I have
directly into it
bulldogs.
though?
I don't know if they farted into it, but like I've got our my bulldogs that are gaseous animals, and yeah, so they but I don't ever smell anything, so I don't know if that's actually how that would work or if it would get filtered out.
Yeah, I just can't imagine that was a fake reaction to that though. Like the way
Right,
that guy
right,
reacted to that just seems like that seems like it's accurate. And but I don't
yeah.
know because I feel like that would be a brutal punishment, like just being stuck in a room where like somebody just leaves a bag of poop or something right there.
Well, you got those like sprays that are like toxic fart sprays, or
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. You get stuck in a closet, and everybody gets to spray it underneath until,
yeah,
yeah.
um,
Um, that's pretty bad though.
yeah.
Yeah,
All right, so we're getting into our um, running backs, which I also had the same reaction as you for ranking running backs.
yeah,
No idea how to rank them.
yeah. They're which I think is like definitely in best ball drafts that I've been doing. What's nice is outside of like what I consider the top three, maybe I'm getting a little convinced that there's a top four. But outside of those top four, you can get a lot of the people that I consider to be in the top 12, in late rounds, like fifth round, um, which is nice. So that's usually never been a thing where, I feel like typically in the first two rounds of a 12 team draft, you'd have 15 or 16 running backs go, and now it's closer to like eight,
Yeah,
um, which I love because I mean, that's always how I draft is a lot of wide receivers, especially if you're playing PPR, half PPR, um, have like a three wide receiver set with a flex or two flex and two wide receiver type of league. So
yeah. I think I was listening to some podcasts and they were saying how much, or I don't know how much this is true, but like just how devalued running backs have become, and for the NFL, not even like just fantasy as well, like dynasty fantasy running back. Like I feel like there's like a direct correlation of fantasy people realizing how quickly running backs fall off, and then the NFL's like, these guys are actually right, and so we don't need to put a lot of uh, resources into running backs.
right. Well, I think what ends up happening is they have the cost is distributed more now. So like a team will carry four running backs, where I feel like in the past, like the Patriots always had three running backs, but they were kind of the outlier, and a lot of other teams would just have two guys and a fullback. So in the past, where as far as costs go, your cost goes way down per guy because you're carrying more of them. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
so yeah, it is. I mean, they definitely seem to be more like there's talented guys, but then you put like an okay guy behind an awesome offensive line, and then your worries kind of go away. You know?
Yeah. So, only news I really think is worth exploring is the Jonathan Taylor given the permission to seek a trade till Tuesday. Just what are you thinking about that?
Um, I think that's a sticking it to Jonathan Taylor because I'm guessing his agent called around, you know, and found out that like nobody's willing to offer higher than a fifth round draft pick for him, and he probably got all offended over it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because nothing like I'm sure he couldn't pass a physical right now, and nobody wants a player that is a problem. You know, that's like dangerous for your locker room.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. I don't.
So you think he's just
I
gonna
don't think. He,
stay on the Colts?
yeah. Yep. The NFL is kind of the only league that's like can stick it to players, and then they have to play because they also, you know, they lose their entire year and money, and they get fined the whole time if they sit out, and then they don't have value the next year. You know, you will disappear real quick in this league. Um, I feel like in the NBA and baseball, the players have way more power. NFL's not even close.
Yeah, it is pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I have him in my top 12, but I'm like,
so I booted him from this. I think there's I have PTSD from my Le'Veon Bell in between the Steelers and the Jets, where first I drafted him because I was like, he's gonna play, and then he didn't play the whole year. And
jeez.
then I was like, ooh, he got rest, and now he's on the Jets. He's gonna be awesome. And so I drafted him in the first round in that year too. I have a I have a disdain for drafting running backs in the first round now. I mean, like I went back to back Le'Veon Bell in those years. The last time I drafted a running back in the first round and it benefited me was LaDainian Tomlinson.
Wow.
So the I did last year and the year before my first round running back was Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That worked out really, really well, you
Yeah.
know. So the yeah, I feel like running backs are so expendable and replaceable that unless you're getting, one of the top four guys at, the back end of the draft, I just, I mean, I'm sometimes in the leagues, I'm not even drafting a running back until the fifth round.
Yeah, that's what I was
Um,
thinking. Like, especially from last year, just seeing how few running backs there were that were just like constantly getting good fantasy points every week. Like it was very
yep,
few because there's just a share the workload with so many backs now.
right, right. Well, let's jump right into it.
Yeah,
Kind of like a band aid, let's rip it off.
yeah.
Uh, I will start off because I'm going to guarantee that you did not have this guy on your list. Well, I'm not going to guarantee that, but I've got as my 12th running back Ramondre Stevenson.
I have him in my
Um,
list.
wow, and he's not 12th.
No,
That's pretty wild. Just historically, the Patriots running backs, you know, they do awesome. You know, um, and you can typically get them at a value, so you're not having to draft Ramondre Stevenson in those first four rounds. And that's what I love. And then the Patriots aren't ever like the last few years, really, since Tom Brady's left, they're not an air support team. So, you're not having a lot of throwing touchdowns happening, but they are going to score points. They've got a really difficult schedule this year, but um, I just, I'm not worried about Zeke Elliott mattering. You know, I think that is they got him at a discount. He can come in and kind of be you know, take Ramondre off for a few downs to keep
Yeah,
him fresh. But outside of that, I think Ramondre is a good value, and so yeah, 12th overall.
yeah. I just listened to the Fantasy Footballers Dynasty podcast, and Kyle something, I don't remember his last name. He writes articles for them, and he's
Yep.
doing an article. He hasn't published it yet, but he was talking about how there's like a myth on people thinking third down backs are important running backs, but historically
Yeah.
they're like they get way less work and just not on the field as much as
Right.
first and second down. So if Ezekiel Elliott's the third down back for them, that wouldn't hurt Ramondre Stevenson necessarily.
I don't even know that he will be that. I think that he'll be more of um, like in instances where they are like maybe they'll do two running backs and then they'll put them both in, right? Because they're both bigger guys, and then um, but Zeke's greatest scoring touchdowns is more my fear, right?
Yeah,
Is hey, if there's 18 running touchdowns for the Patriots this year, is Zeke going to take, six of them? Um, it's still a great year for Ramondre Stevenson, but um, it's not a recreation of the year that LeGarrette Blount had, whatever. I mean, I think he had 16 touchdowns in a season because the Patriots loved to run the ball and they were great at it. So,
yeah.
yeah, yep. So, who do you have as your 12th?
I have Jonathan Taylor as my 12th running back.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I put him.
Yep.
He's a people still have him like in their top 10 on the list, but I
Yep.
don't know. It's just super. His situation's super scary. But if he does end up having to play for the Colts, he's gonna have to play well, or he's just screwed. So that's what I'm just banking on with having him in my top 12. Is he's a very good running back when he plays. So
Yeah.
he's gonna have to play well to get a trade next year, or he's gonna be like just cut and nobody wants him. So
Yeah.
it's a risky. I moved him to 12th just because he's. That's I almost just didn't even have him in my top 12 because of that, because of the situation.
Yeah.
He's just such a
Yeah.
good
I mean,
running back.
I didn't put him in my top 12. Both, I was already worried about him. Both, okay, so he's coming off an injury. He looks bad. And then also they have a quarterback now who looks like he's going to be their running back. Um, and so, yeah, that made me nervous a lot about him. And now this whole saga is just,
Yeah.
I don't want that, I don't want that drama in my life.
So
You
if
know?
he gets traded like to a team, I feel like that's like the best thing that could happen. If he goes to a team that needs a running back, even if it's just a
Right.
year. But
Miami. If he went to Miami, then I would
yeah,
be, oh boy, maybe I do
or
need
the
some
Chiefs.
Jonathan Taylor in my life. But yeah, yep, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Um, okay, who do you have as 11?
I have Jameer Gibbs as number 11.
Jameer Gibbs.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
So you are not worried about the split of running back in Detroit.
no,
I mean,
who's
I like it,
it's
but
Montgomery, right?
right.
Yeah. He just did not seem like he was doing that well into last year. So Jameer Gibbs is I don't know a whole lot about him, but he just everybody's super high on him, thinks he's going to be a great running back in Detroit.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I don't think David
They've got an
Montgomery's.
offensive. They got a great offensive line,
Yeah,
and he is supposed to be really talented. And I do think that offense is going to be great. Um, but Montgomery is actually, when healthy, he's an awesome running back by stats. So he's got a great missed tackle rate or avoided tackle rate and yards per carry. All of, like he's great. He can catch the ball, um, but he's just had a history of not being able to stay healthy, and he's also these guys on the Bears, these offensive players that are talented. the Bears have just stunk for so long that he might actually be even better than that. And so I worry like they're gonna score a lot of touchdowns via running back, right? Just like last year, between Swift and Williams. There's a lot of running back opportunity, but I just don't know which one of them is gonna get. Is it going to be 60-40? Is it going to be 70-30? And
Yeah,
that
like them last year with Jamal Williams getting all the touchdowns.
right, right, but he was still a top 12, running back. So,
Yeah,
you know, um, and if DeAndre Swift stayed healthy, then maybe he would have been too. But
yeah. I
um,
think there is room
yeah,
for both of them to do well, but
yeah, I just don't know that there's room for both of them to be top 12. So I stayed away from their locker room, running back wise, and then also Philadelphia. Like I would
yeah,
love to know who, if Philadelphia had a single running back, it might be Kenneth Gainwell, it might be Rashad Penny, it might be DeAndre Swift, and uh, but nobody knows who it is, and
yeah,
it's an awesome, awesome offense, awesome offensive line, but too many cooks.
yeah. I think that also Gibbs is, um, he's more of a pass catching back than Montgomery, if I'm not wrong with that. Like Montgomery only had
Yeah,
40 targets last year, but the Bears also
how many?
didn't pass that much. But
Right, and how many games did Montgomery play?
he played um, a lot of games actually. He missed he missed one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he only missed one game, but he played 40% of some games and 17.
Right.
So like he kind of missed like two or three with just getting hurt during the game. But
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah. Um. But yeah. So I mean, we'll see. You will be getting him because I won't be picking him there. So, um,
where is he
I
going?
uh, I actually have no idea.
Jameer Gibbs. I have the hotel Wi-Fi, so everything's slow. Oh, he's going end of third round. That might be too
Right.
high for me. I don't think I'll get
Yeah.
him there.
Right. I'm not. I'm definitely not.
Yeah.
The Okay. So I've got for my 11th. I've got Travis Etienne. Um, I know people are talking up Tank Bigsby, but he doesn't really have the draft pedigree to concern me that much. I think that he will be kind of that supplemental guy, just like. But they use Travis Etienne. Trevor Lawrence knows how to play with him. That offense is going to be fantastic, and I think you do have like he's definitely the starter and definitely going to be doing well, and this is technically his second year off of that bad injury. So, he missed his rookie year and then played last year and he had a decent year, but, you know, traditionally it's 2 years after that type of injuries that take you out like that you really come back and crush it. So I've got Travis Etienne in on my 11th pick.
Yeah, I like that. I might have. I should have put him instead of freaking. I have John Taylor and Josh Jacobs in my top 12. So
Uh, yeah,
yeah, he yeah towards the he had some bad games last year. I don't know why, but
yeah,
I'm talking about Travis Etienne. But
right, right.
when
No,
he's
I
doing
think, yeah, I think he just like I don't know that he was fully back yet.
yeah,
Like I think he was having good games because that team is really good. I don't know that he was fully healed.
it looks like when they played like not that good of defenses that he did really well.
Right. Yeah, because that team is, again, this year I think they're going to be really flowing and awesome. And I I think that he was having I'm going to have a down year because I'm coming off of this injury.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so yeah. I'm excited for this year for that team.
Yeah, me too. I
Um,
definitely want to watch them a lot this year.
yeah. The Okay, who do you have at your pick number 10?
I have Ramondre Stevenson at 10.
Nice.
Yeah. I had
Okay.
same reasons for you. I don't think Ezekiel it's that big of a threat, and yeah, don't really need to talk
Yeah.
about him any more than that. The Patriots
Nope.
use
Okay.
running backs pretty good.
So you want to jump into your ninth then?
Yeah, I have Tony Pollard as my ninth running back.
Okay. Yep. I've got him sixth. So
Oh wow,
um
yeah. So you move. My mouse
yeah.
just disappeared.
So the for my thing with Tony Pollard is, not to talk about your guy, but the reason that I've got to break so high is uh he's got no competition on an awesome offense. And when I say no competition, like I don't think there's even a question of is Tony Pollard playing the important plays. I think he is.
Yeah. Yep.
And in the opportunities when he would take over for Zeke, he was always awesome. Um, and so even like finishing out the year last year, he's been great. The only thing that we don't know about him, and the coaches have talked about it in the past, is what his kind of longevity is. Can he play 80% of snaps? And I just don't know that he can, but I don't think he needs to. You know,
Yeah. That's what I have him at ninth for. Is I'm worried that they because the way or teams treat running backs that they're not gonna care about. Uh, they're just gonna run him a ton, like
right?
and he's gonna get. I feel like if if he can last, then he'd be a top five running back. But that's why
Yeah,
I have him at ninth. Just
you got a concern of his ability to finish the season.
yeah, because he's not big and he's never done a whole season before. And I don't know if there's any like history of running backs that were um, backups and then became the the guy and then doing well.
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry, yeah, but he's a massive freak of a human being, not a tiny dude like Tony Pollard.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of Austin Eckler is another one. He's a smaller guy.
Yeah,
Um,
he's more of a
there was
pass catcher
concerns.
though, right?
Well, so is Tony Pollard
Is he?
too. Yeah. Yeah. So like, I don't know if uh, I loved. So I drafted a lot of Tony Pollard last year, and it worked out awesomely because he ended up being a top 15 running back, and you know the. But I was getting him in eighth and 10th round because Zeke was still the starter at that point. So,
Yeah,
which is like, that could be the Jameer Gibbs pick. To be fully honest, is you could be capturing that with him. But I think people are just high on him, so he goes way earlier than you'd expect. Yeah.
yeah.
So okay, so you got Tony Pollard at 9. I've got him at 6. So let me go over my ninth. But I got another guy. I've got Alexander Madison is my
Ooh.
ninth pick. Um, I'll bring up this
Yeah.
sneakily evil move you tried to do today. So we have a keeper league, and I opened up trading um, for pre-draft, and Calvin goes in and starts trying to add people off of waiver wires um, before keepers are set and before the draft. Like that's not nice try.
I didn't know that wasn't
So
a rule. It
because you can't keep a player that you didn't draft
You can keep
and
people off
or
waivers with your last pick.
pick up pick up in season with a waiver wire ad.
We
Alexander Madison was drafted.
we are in season though, technically.
No, this is the new season.
Yeah.
Right. So you can't add him yet until after the draft.
uh, darn.
Nice try.
I thought I was like I was wondering why there were so many good players on the waiver wire for
Yeah,
ECU.
yeah. Jeez. So, but yeah, I've got him there because I think the Vikings offense I think is going to be great. I don't think that Dalvin Cook is that much better than Alexander Madison, and when he would play for Dalvin Cook, he would always score, you know, 10 to 15 fantasy points for you. He's a great fill in. So I think he's going to be fine. And I think he's going to be a consistent, I get all the touches on an offense that scores a good amount of touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
He's also a running back that you don't know if he can handle a whole workload season. So that's another new starting running back that could be really good.
Right.
It's a risky
Yep.
one. But I mean, running backs are just risky all around anyway. You don't know what's going to
Right.
happen with them.
Yep. Yeah. That is true.
Sweet. So if you want, could you go through our top picks again? 12 through
Yep. I'll
9?
run through them real quick.
Yeah.
So on yours, I've got Jonathan Taylor at 12th, Jameer Gibbs at 11, Ramondre Stevenson at 10, and Tony Pollard at 9. And then for myself, I've got Ramondre Stevenson at 12, Travis Etienne at 11, Josh Jacobs at 10, and Alexander Madison at 9. Did I not talk about Josh Jacobs?
No, you did not.
Oh wow. Okay, so I have him at 10th. That's my like drop down because he was awesome last year. I think this offense is going to suck this year, and he hasn't been with the team, so there's also that drama. But he's definitely a person that goes like, "Hey, if you eliminated all those things, I'd have to draft him in the top 4." So I just had to drop him down.
Yeah,
Um,
I have him 7th, which is a drop,
yeah,
but
yep.
not as much as that.
I long shot Zamir White a lot. He barely played it all last year, but he's the clear backup for that team right now, and so
Yeah. I know that people have been saying that he's looking to sign in the next few weeks or whatever.
right, it's expected that he's going to be.
Yeah.
So I'm not super worried about it, but I'm worried about it a little bit.
Yeah. Something could happen where he just decides not to play, which would suck.
Right.
But yeah.
Yep,
All right. Cool.
that would be a bummer.
So we'll be back tomorrow with our 8 through 5 picks, and then with our 4 through 1. Yeah.
What?
And it's almost football season.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm excited. See you later.